Welcome to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. I'm Stuart Wellborn, a British author and former therapist, and each week I sit down with Wa-Na-Nee-Che, a spiritual elder from Turtle Island, to explore the deeper truths behind healing, ceremony, and connection to Source. Hey Wa-Na-Nee-Che, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. Now I've got some a crystal and another stone, but first of all, here's a question for you. When a person is on a spiritual or personal development path, yeah,
Yep.
does the creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, give you a shit test? If you know what I mean by a shit test, to
Yep.
test whether you are as far on your path as you think you are.
Yeah, a lot of times you're given loyalty tests to see whether or not you will pick the right side. I know I've been tested so many times, and each time I've passed the test. So when you're doing certain things will happen to see whether or not you want to walk your pathway or you don't want to walk your pathway. So you're given information when you start to walk your pathway, say, for instance, sometimes you could be talking to somebody and they'll say, I had a strange vision last night. And they explain the vision and everything. And in reality, that vision was actually for you because it's coming from somebody who has no understanding. And yet it's giving you the information to understand, okay, now I got my answer. So it'll come to you in many different ways. It doesn't come directly from the creator, because the creator would say, I have given you all the tools that you need to find yourself upon the earth, below the earth, and above the earth. So go to them because they have the answers. He said, sometimes he said, people look up too much and they ask questions of God, the creator. And they said they look up so damn much that one of these times they're going to be walking and they're going to walk right off the cliff. So everything is one. That's why we always say to all of our relations, because we can tap into everything. If we want certain knowledge, we can ask certain questions and they will come to you. And a lot of times they'll come to you sometimes in human shape and they'll talk to you. And as you're talking to them, they'll say, okay, bye. And they'll turn into the animal that was giving you the advice to basically give you a lot more, well, how would you say, assurance that you were talking and you knew exactly the questions you asked and the energy that you asked turns into that energy.
Cool. I'll tell you why I asked that particular question. You know, I wrote a book recently.
Yep.
And then I've built my own website, which is a blog. And I don't know if you know what this is, but a lead magnet is how you get people to get your email address. Like you get your people get the meditation for free if they go to
Mhm.
humancircleoflife.com. I created a deleted chapter from my book called Do People Really Piss You Off? And I was talking in that about how people don't piss you off, you just are reacting, aren't you? And since I've put that out there, a few things have happened to me, and I'm just wondering, is this the universe testing me? Because I could so easily have become pissed off with people, but I haven't.
Yeah. It's like my dad advice. He said, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Well, this is true.
So what we have to do is sometimes when we get upset, a nerve is hit. And sometimes the nerve will be geared against your belief system and what you believe in. And I always say if every individual has the right to their opinion, as
Hmm.
long as they don't try to change your opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're tested because people will come up to you and ask you stupid questions or give you stupid answers. But again, a lot of times it's to see what your reaction is. And if your reaction is, then you analyze, why did I do that?
Mm.
You shouldn't have done it. So it's a training tool.
Yeah. because I just thought it was rather ironic that I've just written a chapter like that, and then several things from different people. I'm like, I could so easily get angry and
Yeah.
react in a negative way, but here I am remaining calm.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea comes down to simple philosophy, and that is, if you get pissed off or you get angry, they win.
Yeah.
So the best thing you do is just laugh it off and say, "Well, that's your opinion. I'll go on walking my pathway, and I feel sorry for you, but I'm going to go my way."
Very good. I'm pleased about that.
Yeah,
You,
that's a good time to think of something very funny so that you can basically let it go.
yeah, yeah, I agree on that. That I think that's was part of my deleted chapter actually. Funny enough, this wasn't a vision, but you just talked about dreams and things. I had a weird dream last night. I'm just wondering if this was a message or not, but there was a stag in it, and it had got a broken horn,
Mhm.
and it had buttered my dog, Beowulf, and he was injured, and I was carrying him. And it felt very real in the dream. And I kind of woke up and I was like, oh, relieved that it wasn't. Was that just like some random dream or was that have a meaning? What do you think?
It sounds like with the stag with a broken horn is that your antenna has been damaged. And by working with your dog, it kind of gave you a message that you needed to basically care more. And by caring the dog, you start to connect to that energy.
Right, cool.
You know, also, a stag with one horn has a lot of druid meaning to it.
Mm. That's why I brought it up because I have random dreams all the time and don't usually remember them. But that one really stuck with me because it
You
was
remember
like,
the visions, the ones that are important, you'll remember. And a lot of times, if you're actually going to a vision rather than a message, when you go into that vision, when you wake up in the morning, you're dead tired.
yeah, well, I've had a busy weekend with work, but I was tired. But it felt, I felt the emotions of it because it was like carrying my dog and like he was okay and still in the dream, but he was injured and I was upset, obviously.
And it also tells you where you need to focus in order to get that antler repaired.
So where do I need to focus? Being more caring.
Yeah, a little more caring. And because you cared about the dog, it showed that you cared about yourself because you were willing to give part of yourself to an animal.
Well, I think I did have to not so much fight the stag, but I had to defend the dog.
Yeah.
Because it had a broken horn and I think it was the right one. It was
Uh,
pointed and sharp.
yep.
Uh, Funny enough, that will bring us nicely into where we were talking about crystals last week. I have found rose quartz.
Okay. Before you do it, just put it in your hands. Cup them with your hands
Uh-huh.
and just hold it for a minute. And just kind of close your eyes and see if you can feel anything coming from the crystal.
Does it matter that it's a bit dirty at the moment because of its
That's
being
right.
in
No,
storage? No.
it's okay. What about my telecasting? Call back in an hour. Okay, what are you feeling on it?
A minute, it just feels cold.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do now is take the crystal, put it down, and now I want you to sit there and say these words. Creator,
Creator,
I ask for permission
I ask for permission
to call upon the north,
to call upon the north,
the east,
the east,
the south,
the south,
and the west.
and the west.
And I ask the energies
And I ask the energies
to take this grandson crystal
to take this grandson
or
crystal
granddaughter,
or granddaughter,
whichever, and I want you to reattach it to
and
the ancient grandfather and grandmother where they came from.
I want you to reattach it to, what was it?
The grandfather, great grandfather, or great grandmother.
The great grandfather and great grandmother where it originally came from.
Now, take your hand and place it on each side. Don't grab it, but place your hands around it.
Okay.
And then imagine, well, don't have to imagine, but feel the energy of that crystal reattaching itself to the great grandmother and the great grandfather. Allow it to become part of that energy where it came from.
Okay.
Okay. Tell grandfather and grandmother to re energize it,
Right. Great grandmother and great grandfather re-energize it.
to send love
What was that? Sorry.
and ability back into the crystal.
Could you just repeat that because I missed it?
Yeah, to bring the energy back into the life of the crystal,
To bring the energy back into the life of the crystal,
to re energize it.
to re-energize it.
Okay. Now just concentrate with your hands with the crystal in between. And you'll get some kind of a confirmation, a ping or something that it's been re energized.
Does that take a long time?
It could be a glow, it could be anything, but it'll tell you that it's been re energized. Okay. Now take the crystal in your hand, both hands, and see if there's a difference.
Feels slightly warmer.
Yeah, that's what it is. Heat will let you know that it's been re energized. Because it's like putting a stone on the fire. When the stone is ready, it gets red hot.
Still cool, but warmer than it was because before it was
Oh,
more
yeah.
like cold. And
Yeah. But that's
so,
how you can do it. And you could do it maybe two or three times until you finally feel the energy itself being stronger. And then you can utilize it for what you need it for.
and how do you utilize rose quartz then?
Rose quartz, you just basically put it by your end table at night and let it work on you.
So you don't have to do
The other
anything
thing
with it.
basically that came through is the fact that you need a rose quartz now because your heart has really been hurt.
Can you say that again? Because I sorry about this, people, but listening, but I don't know if it's my headphones or something, but I missed what you said then.
The rose quartz basically is telling me, and I got a flash, that your heart has really been hurt at one time and that you need to heal. And the rose quartz will help you heal to let it go. Because you have to remember this in life. If you walk with somebody on a pathway, but that pathway basically isn't part of her, and you are not part of that pathway, that means you weren't meant to be together. So they created a situation so that you could walk your pathway. So when we look at it, we sit there and we feel the pain and everything, but the thing you should be looking at, they want me to find my pathway, and they're going to send me somebody or something that's going to be greater than what I had.
Ooh,
So you have to let go
spooky.
before you can find what they're going to give you. You got to let go of the past.
Wow. That's cool. Wasn't expecting to be the center of attention on this one. Now, people that are listening to this, I highly recommend that you watch this on the Human Circle of Life YouTube channel so that you can see what's actually been happening. Because if you're listening, there's been a lot of silence, really. But okay, next stone. I don't know if I, you know how I said I thought it. that rose quartz was in one place, and if it wasn't there, it was somewhere else. Well, it wasn't in the other place either, but I did find it. But in the box, which I haven't opened since moving to this house for 8 years, was this stone.
Hmm. Now, before we go to that, think of the rose quartz.
Okay,
Why you couldn't find it? Because again, when something like that happens, it's telling you that there's something hidden within yourself that you have to let go. So the rose quartz now is there to help you identify that what you need to let go. But I'm getting the message that you already know.
maybe. I'm not sharing it with the public though.
Yeah.
Do I
Now
need
what?
to clean it though, wash it or anything?
No. Mm-mm. It's just
Because
like what you says. If you have magical dirt on you and you wash, what happens to the magical dirt? Disappears.
well, I suppose it lived in the ground at one point, didn't it? So
Yeah.
it,
It's surrounded by earth, you know.
yeah, so it's not dirt to it, it's like home.
Yeah, it's like nourishment to them.
Yeah. Do you know what that stone is though?
Ah, it looks familiar, but can't quite remember what the heck it is.
Maybe somebody watching will know what it is.
They
It's
may know. Yeah.
blue, dark blue with white bits in it. I don't even know where I got it from.
Yeah. The thing is, if you want to find out things again, put it under your pillow, take some tobacco, and ask your question, then put it on the crystal. If you're going to find out what it is, then you get it from the horse's mouth.
Ah, that's good.
People don't realize that everything has a life force energy, so therefore you can talk to anything. And when things appear sometimes, we need to ask the question, why are you here? And you'll get an answer.
That's solid advice, really. Funny enough, another thing of yours I found a bag of
Wait,
your
before I go
sage.
on, how's your indigestion?
Hmm?
How's your indigestion?
Uh, I'm usually all right, just first thing in the
Are
morning.
you having some difficulties?
In the mornings, if I've
Yeah,
got work.
when I looked at the crystal, the first thing it said indigestion.
What, the blue
It
one?
must have something to do for helping balance your body.
We're talking about the blue one, aren't we now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes when I see a crystal, I want to see why is it there? Why is it with you? Because it's there for a reason. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll get a picture right away, or I'll hear something that the crystal is saying. And that's how I go, how I interpret things.
Like I say, I don't know where I got that from. I opened up that was in the box where I
Uh-huh.
thought the rose quartz was going to be. When I moved to this house, it was a stopgap move that was only supposed to be for a year. So I've got boxes of stuff that I've never opened because I've always thought I'm going to be moving soon, and I've been here 8 years. So when I opened this box, I'd got like incensers. I found a bag of your sage. I think I've got some of your tobacco as well. So there was all sorts in this box, and I'm like, I didn't even know I had half this stuff.
I never knew you had 8 years. I thought you had two. It's funny how things pop out of you when we use the English language.
Yes, English language, a language. I can't even speak myself now.
That
English,
basically has
made in
been
England.
been bastardized by Americans.
Mm.
Just like the lady this morning said, "Bear with me," and I said, "No, I'm not taking my clothes off with you." But the way we use the English language here in America is it's comical. You can make a whole comedian routine out of it.
People have, and we do.
Yeah,
But it works the other way because there are Americans that obviously take the piss out of the way we say certain things or some of our turns of phrase. But we came up with it first, so we win. Oh, talking of weird things and words, I've just got to ask you something political that I've just noticed on Facebook. I don't know if this is true or just something made up. That Donald Trump wants the Washington Commanders to be called the Redskins again.
Yeah,
Is that actually true?
that's true.
And what's your thoughts on that?
You know, if they're going to call them the Redskins, then show white people with sunburns.
Good call. Yeah.
Because that Redskin, see, Redskin basically was a word that the Europeans gave to tribal people that were doing a ceremony, but they painted themselves red. And the ceremony they were doing was actually a ceremony that they did in Wales.
Wales, as in over
Called,
here, Wales.
yeah, it's called a pole dance. And they
Uh,
were doing the pole dance, but they covered themselves in red. So when the Europeans see that, said, "Oh, Redskins," and it stuck.
Because you're quite right. It's like me, for example. I'm translucent in the winter. Most of the time, I'm pasty white, like a ghost. But if I
Uh-huh.
go out in the sun, like I go red.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, that's
am
like a
redskin.
real good friend of mine, Frank Black Elk. I mean, he was probably almost my color, but in the summer when he went out, he turned almost black. And we were laughing one time because I took a group of English people on a spiritual journey, and we went up into the mountains in Colorado here. And one of the places we went to Salida, where they had rapids, and you could go on a boat and ride the rapids. Well, a friend of mine, she couldn't go because she had back problems, so she couldn't go on the raft. So we're sitting there, and about I'd say maybe a mile up, maybe a little bit further, these people were coming. You could barely see the people coming around the corner. And this one group came around the corner, and I said, "Ah, there's Frank." "How do you know it's Frank?" I said, "Look at that glare coming from his teeth." And she started laughing. All of a sudden, they got closer. Said, "How the hell did you know it was Frank Black Elk in them?" I said, "I told you." I said the sunshine hit his teeth.
You could get away with saying that. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. We've talked about crystals and craziness, the latest craziness of Donald Trump and the Washington. Well, I don't care about the Washington Commanders because I'm a Raiders fan. But is there anything you'd like to talk about for the last, how long we got left? We've got
Well,
15 minutes.
what I'm going to basically do too is I have a lot of contacts that I talk to, and they have followers. So I'm going to hit each group and tell them to basically to let them know how to get on and to look at the telecast. And I said, you need to get your people moving because if people don't move, then I'm not going to basically be around to instruct them. So they got to prove to me that they're willing. You know, it's like when the message came to me and it was given to 6 people who carry a black pipe, and they're the ones with the knowledge since the beginning of time. And all of them refused to share their knowledge. And I'm the only one that basically accepted the fact and the pathway to give them the knowledge that they need to find themselves. But it's very important. They can't find themselves until they start asking the questions on how to find that pathway they need to be on. And they've been told, but because they don't understand what the tools are, they say, oh, it was just a dream. When it could have been the most powerful vision that they had, because again, everything's supposed to be a dream according to society. So they don't tell you about the visions. So again, they've had their visions, but they kind of just blew it off because they're saying, oh, it was just a dream.
So there you go. People share and ask questions so that I'm not in the spotlight again.
I was going to say there are many things in many ways when you find the tools that you can actually utilize those tools to start discovering who you are. You're not going to learn who you are, boom, just like that.
No.
You have to go through a series of things, just like when we're talking about spirit animals, which I call energy animals. A wolf will come to you, and all of a sudden, it becomes your spirit animal. When if you look at it as a spirit animal or like an energy animal, then you're forever stuck with that particular spirit energy. When that spirit energy comes to you, it's only trying to train you and give you enough information to advance to the next level. And then the next level until you finally discover your connection. And then once you find that connection of that candle, you have millions of people who will share knowledge with you once you find yourself.
Does that work with also real animals that come into your life?
Hmm.
So I have a question for you. I don't know if, yeah, you would have seen her. I had a crow for 10 years because I rescued her as a fledgling. Why would a crow have come into my life?
Well, again, a crow has many things. It's also a bird that will open your doorway. And a crow is very smart where people don't think he's that smart
Oh,
or
they
she's
are.
that smart. But if they hear a gunshot, they know there's food. And the crows will mass to where the gunshot came from, and they know exactly where that gunshot came from. Because the gunshot means food, just like a grizzly bear. Up in Alaska, when they hear a gunshot, that's food for them. Someone shot an elk. And I know when my nephew was up there, he said, Uncle, he said, went out hunting, and my guide, we shot an elk. He said, you got 15 minutes to quarter him and get the hell out of here. And I said, why? He said, because the grizzly bears will be coming. So again, animals will sit there sometime and they'll attach to you for a reason. And a lot of times they're trying to get you to hear the message. And then once you hear the message, they move on. And you find yourself another person who instructs you. So your pathway isn't a series of steps until you finally reach the final step where you say, ah, I know who I am now. But you have to, if you get something right away, you don't believe it. So you got to go in steps to get yourself to a point where your belief system gets a little stronger with each step that you take until your belief system is completely fulfilled and you find your pathway. And then you believe it. It becomes yours because you knew you went through the steps to find it.
Coming back to something you just said a minute ago, you said that there were six of you with a black pipe.
Hmm.
That takes me to a question that was asked by Linda, actually. What, well, my question on top of it, but what is the black pipe then? And secondly, what is the significance of the pipe in general?
Yeah, the black pipe, if it's a real black pipe, because I know a lot of people have imitation black pipes. A black pipe, when you carry it, represents harmony, peace, and love. And when you carry that black pipe, you have to live by those rules. Now, if you want to take a break, you got to bury the black pipe into the earth, and then you can do normal things that you have to do. Like, say, for instance, if I have to go into battle, I have to basically bury the black pipe because it won't allow me to basically battle and possibly take life if I have to go to war. But if I'm carrying that black pipe, I can't do it.
And how long have you had the black pipe?
Oh, geez, it's got to be at least 25 years or more.
Wow. And how did it come into your possession then?
Well, when I first got it, I was told to bury it and then to put a small fire on top of where I buried it. And a strange thing happened the next day. My neighbor kid, he must have been about 14. he comes running over the house and he said, Wa-Na-Nee-Che, what? There's an eagle sitting on your roof. And I walked outside. Sure enough, there was an eagle, a golden eagle sitting on my roof. And he said, something strange happened last night. He said, I was sleeping and I was taken to your backyard and you were holding the black pipe. And he said, the creator was smoking it. And so again, see, he didn't know what was going on, but I knew what was going on because he gave me a message of why I had to bury it. Because the creator was supposed to take the first puff. Was supposed to smoke that pipe first to bless it.
To go to Linda's question then, what is the significance of a pipe ceremony? What is the pipe ceremony and what's
To
it
bring
for?
harmony and peace and love into the hearts of people.
And that's tobacco that's in it, isn't it?
Now you put tobacco in it and everybody smokes it. And basically what it does, again, it unites people to be more humane, to find their humanity.
Yes, I remember, I think it was at Sherwood when you came over and you did that weekend retreat. You did that, and then you said, "Is anybody a smoker?" And I was the only smoker there, and you give it me to finish it, and like it was like blew my mind more than like smoking weed.
A lot of times when someone sits there and is a smoker, and I make them smoke the last part of it, there's about a 60% chance, 70% chance they'll quit smoking.
It didn't for me, but it
Because
just
it's
blew
such
my
a
mind.
horrible taste towards the end. Yeah. When Matthew knows, because I always make him smoke the end of it. But we had a ceremony, Mother Earth Lodge, up in oh, around by Middle Piccadilly, and Dominic was sitting next to me. His mother and dad ran the healing center, and he started choking and coughing. And I said, "You're a smoker." Yep. He said, "But I can't quit." So I said, "Okay, next week we're going to do a Thunderbird Lodge, which basically, again, a Mother Earth Lodge sometimes 21 rocks, maybe 28 sometimes, but in a Thunderbird Lodge, it's 49 rocks, and you bring in 24 rocks, but you only have one doorway rather than four. So the first doorway, the heat gets to you. And then you open the door and you bring 25 more rocks in there, close the door, and it gets twice as hot. So Dominic was sitting there choking and what's called. And when the ceremony ended, somebody offered him a cigarette and he said, I don't crave it anymore. So it took all that pollution out of his body and he didn't have to smoke after that. He quit.
I hope you're coming over here soon then, so that
Yeah.
I've
So
done
that's why I
your
said,
Thunderbird Lodge before, and I can attest to how hot it was because
well,
it
you
was close
remember
to, oh my
Grizzly.
God.
You remember Grizzly, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, he was doing my, how do you say it, firekeeper.
Mm.
So we did a Mother Earth Lodge, and he would bring the rocks in, and he must have got it in his head. He said, "Well, I can take that. It's not that hot." So after he done that, he said, "I want to come in the next lodge." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah." So I said, "I got a firekeeper from the first lodge." I said, "I'm going to ask you again. Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." So he came in. I said, "I hope you realize this is a Thunderbird Lodge we're going to be doing." And during the prayer round, it got to him and he said, Well, I haven't had time to think of what I was going to say and write things down. I said, Grizzly, you let whatever comes inside of you out. You don't prepare yourself. I said, You just let it come out. So we went through the lodge. He had to lie down. It was so hot. But after the lodge, because he was addicted to caffeine. And after the lodge was done, we were sitting in the cafeteria, and he had about 6 cups of coffee. He said, Wa-Na-Nee-Che, he said, I've had 6 cups of coffee, and this headache won't go away. And I started laughing. He said, "What are you laughing?" I said, "You're drinking decaffeinated coffee." "No, I'm not." I said, "Well, go look in the cupboard." So in the cupboard, I'm like, "It's decaffeinated." Oh. But he said, "How'd you
Okay.
know?" I said, "I just picked it up."
Right, we are coming to the end. So, any final message? You've got a minute left to talk
Yeah,
before we
get
finish.
off your buns and start basically getting serious about finding your pathway. And the only way you're going to find your pathway is asking questions on how you can get tools that will discover a way that you can find it.
Thank you, Wa-Na-Nee-Che. It's been fantastic as always talking to you. And as you heard, send messages, ask questions. There's you can do it in the comments. There's links to everything in the description. So there's no excuse not to get in touch if you are on your spiritual path. Thanks for listening to Straight Talk Sacred Pathway. If you'd like to ask Wa-Na-Nee-Che a question, you can email me at stuart@realityresponsibility.com. The link will be in the description. And don't forget, you can download a powerful guided meditation for free at humancircleoflife.com.